Pedro, it's so great to have you here, and I want to start going deep immediately. What is a personal gap you're currently closing?
Okay. Whoa. Well, there are many gaps that I'm closing right now at work, and there are some others that I'm closing personally also. You said that you wanted this to be more personal, right? So I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna talk about some things that when some people close to me hear about it, some people may not like it. So yeah, let's talk about it. I'm focusing a lot on myself lately. Like a lot. I've been having some situations in my life that I've talked about it with you that made me like having to take my attention on myself in a way that I didn't do in the past. Like I was focused on making the company grow, and I was focused on working, and I was focused on attending other people, that is started growing and growing and growing and growing, and I recognized that it was useful for me at that time. But lately, maybe the gap I'm closing is taking that attention from everyone around me and getting it back to myself. And you can disappoint some people when you do that,
Right.
but I've never felt better. It's quite weird because I haven't been having good situations around me, but I'm feeling good with myself right now. So
Hmm.
that's something that I'm doing in
Hmm.
my personal life right now.
I really like that because in December, on my birthday, we had breakfast together, and I asked
Yeah,
you,
true.
what's something that you would wish for yourself for 2026? And you said being more present.
Yep. Yeah. It's true. It's true. I'm actually. I think I'm fulfilling this.
I
It's
see.
just that I thought it could be easier, but it's not. And well, but I'm doing it, so I'm very happy with that actually.
Yeah. And so I have to think of this quote, what got you here won't get you there, meaning that we as people have to constantly evolve as well to keep growing. So it sounds like attending to people around you, caring for people around you has been a superpower of yours. And now you shift the focus a little bit on having more attention for yourself, despite people around you maybe having grown used to your support
Yeah.
all the time and your attention all the time.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, and also I don't know if what I did is the correct way, but the way I did it, it was like there is this part of me that it's who I am, that I cannot stop taking care of people that I care about. It's like there is something that if I don't do it, I feel bad. But I realized I was taking care of like 100 people at the same time, and that I couldn't do it. So what I did was I closed it a lot, and started taking care of 4 friends and my family. And that's it. Then all of the mental and emotional space that I was dedicating to so many people around me, I could have it free for myself. Like I say, I don't know if this is the right way to do it. I understand that I'm in some kind of process when I'm realizing this, and I'm actually doing. It's not the first time I do it in my life, actually. But yes, I had to close like the door for a lot of people around me, but I didn't close it to everyone. I left it open to the people that was really really close to me. And I'm trying to find a balance in this right now in my life. Like, okay, how can I do this in a good way? Not in a way where you become like, hey, don't talk to me, and you start like treating people poorly. Because if I did that, I will feel bad with myself actually. But with a very good limit. Like, this is it. Okay, from this on, it's me and my family basically.
It sounds like that there's more focus now on where you put that energy. It's more
Yeah.
concentrated.
Yes, it's very concentrated in few people actually.
Huh. Interesting. I want to understand a bit more about your work. And I know that there's a big team of 42 or more people contributing to what you're building currently, but that is also
Yeah.
very collaborative. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how does that work? How does it work to not have a plan and not have funding and then somehow create a team, an atmosphere that actually creates something creative that is cohesive?
Yeah, well, you have to give a lot of yourself to do it, actually, and maybe that's part of why I was feeling like I'm like everywhere, and because this the collaborative project. This is how we started Atabey Creations, actually. The time in the industry right now, in the video games industry, it's quite difficult. And if you want to start a new video game studio from scratch, it's very difficult to get this funding. Unless you already, as a studio, have something to show. We didn't have something to show. We only had a demo of a game that we did when we were studying in the master's university, you know? And so we said, okay, what can we do? So we did something crazy, something that when we did it, everyone was like, no, you should not do that. This doesn't make sense. And I say, okay, I know that it doesn't make sense to you, but we are still going to do it. And we're going to try to find people that believes in this idea and want to work with us. So what we did was we're going to make a game for free, right? We don't have any money, we cannot pay you, and this game, we're not going to hire you to make this game. We want you to work with us, and
Hmm.
this game is going to be ours. It's not going to be like, okay, this is the game of the studio, and we are going to sell it, and we're going to make a profit out of this, and we didn't pay you for the work. No, this game is going to be of everyone that is actually doing it. And when we started, what we said is, if we sell this game, we're going to divide the profit of this game between absolutely everyone that worked on this game. The company is not going to take anything for itself. Then, after we started developing it, we realized that it was very difficult to do this because of taxes and a lot of law in Spain that did not allow us to do it, basically. And we talked with everyone and we said, okay, we cannot do this. So why don't we give it for free? Let's not make any money out of it. It's curious because the people that was outside the project, that were outside the project, they said like, "You're crazy. You're going to give the game away for free. Why?" And I was like, "Because this is what we talked about. This is what we wanted to do. We didn't make this for money. We did this because we wanted to make a game. We, as a studio, wanted to have this in our portfolio, and all of the people that work in it wanted to have this participation in their portfolios as well. Because when an artist is doing something, they take this work for themselves, you know, and they show it so they can get a job in the industry that is also very hard to get right now. And all of like the needs of a lot of people started coming together, and it was never about the money. So we're going to give it for free. The people that were outside the project, they were saying like, "You're crazy. This doesn't make sense." But the people that were inside, they said, "Yeah, it makes all of the sense in the world because we are doing this because we want to do it." So this is what happened, and when we started looking for people that wanted to do this, we thought, okay, we're not going to get anyone that wants to do this. And there's been like in this moment like 70 people that have
Ah.
come to the project to work and do something, and maybe they continue, maybe they just did no, this is what I did. Now I'm going to do something else, but this stays with the project. We've had people from Spain, we've had people from Serbia, from the United Kingdom, from Latin America, a lot of people working in this project.
Hmm.
Like it was getting out of hand for me, you know, because in the highest point, I was managing 42 people, and in the lowest point, I was managing 36. Like that was the lowest.
Wow.
How do we coordinate all of this? Because I'm crazy, basically, because I don't know how how we did it. I said, okay, look, we're gonna do it, and this is what we're going to do, and we're going to focus, and we're going to actually make it happen, like
Hmm.
with a lot of commitment to it. And I'm telling you, it has been a beautiful experience. Actually, we already finished this collaborative project. It's not
Mhm.
out yet. Maybe when the podcast is out, it's going to be out the game, but it's not out. But the development is finished, and I had to make a lot of decisions that were really hard for me. Like I quit my job. Then I got another job. I quit it as well because I said, no, I'm going to focus on this. And even
Mhm.
the people close to me were saying like, man, you're crazy. You need money to survive, right? You shouldn't be quitting your job for something that is not giving you money and that you're going to sell and you're not going to get any money from this because you're going to give it for free. Like it didn't make sense. Well, now it does because of all of the people that has gone through the project, most of them have jobs in the industry right now. And maybe it was because of us, or maybe it wasn't. But I know that we did put a bit of this, like you now have experience to show, because most of the people were like people that finished their studies and couldn't get a job, couldn't get an internship, couldn't get anything. And
Right.
we said, come with us. Let's make something together. They have jobs in the industry. For us, we now have projects that we get money out of them because now we have like a presentation card as a company because we
Hmm.
did this at the beginning, and they also have their personal presentation card because they also worked on this. We've gotten a lot of things out of this, and even some people that were working with us for free are not hired in the company, and now I can pay them. I mean, it's like
Right.
very fulfilling, you know. Like we started this as a crazy idea. Everyone was saying you're completely crazy. Now
Hmm.
it's working. Sometimes you have to follow, you know, a dream,
Right.
even if it's crazy. But
Yeah.
but it worked out at the end.
Yeah. Wow. I'm still amazed at how the decision making was when you were 42 people without any formal structure. How did that look like?
We created a structure.
Okay, you created a
Yeah,
structure.
yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, of course. This is the first thing that I did. Actually, I knew how development worked. So, and I had experience as a project manager before. So I said, okay, the first thing is that this needs to have a structure, and it needs to be able to work even if I'm not here. At the end, that was a bit more difficult to get, but the structure was created, and we divided by departments because when you're making a video game, you have different departments, right? Like concept art and 3D art and animation and VFX and audio and programming and design. We divided it by departments, and then we got a lead for every department,
Okay.
like a person that was going to be in charge and was going to be making the decisions for the entire department. Of course, listening to the people that was in the department.
Yeah.
But we couldn't leave it like, okay, what are we going to do in art? So now we have, I don't know, 15 artists. Let's make a decision between, no. We started creating a hierarchy and the structure. And then with these leads, they were like the pillar of this project. And I
Right.
used to have meetings with them every 2 weeks to check everything. And then every week with every department to check on okay, what are these tasks that you're doing, these others, and that. And then we took all of the tasks that you require to make a video game, and we started dividing them into very small pieces. So so because also all of these people that were collaborating in these projects, they didn't all have complete free time for this. Like they had another jobs.
Mm.
They needed also to survive, you know, to pay rent, a lot of things. So they could be working something else, and then on their free time, they will dedicate their time for this. So the tasks had to be very small and achievable by
Yeah.
each one of the people that were there. Yeah. So the structure was created. We followed it until the end, and it was a crazy structure as well. Remember that I told you that hey, I have a meeting on Sunday, 11
Right.
a.m. That was because it was the closing meeting for this project with the leads of the departments, and they didn't have any other time. So we used to meet every 2 weeks, every Sunday at 11 a.m. So a lot of commitment from all of the people that were on this project, and we all made it work somehow. And now
Yeah.
we're done. We stayed 2 years actually developing this
Wow.
game.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. I'm really
Thank
hoping
you.
I can see the game and check it out when
Oh,
it's
it will
released.
come out, and I'll send you a link. It's for free. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I'm curious, how important is it for you personally to have clarity on what you're trying to achieve, especially when it comes to creative tasks?
It's very important actually. Actually, with the way that I am, if I have a clear objective, I work very well, like a clock. If I know that this is the objective and I know that this is achievable, I'm going to find a way to get to it. When this happens in my life, with work and with everything, actually, it's very easy for me to
Mm.
actually achieve something because I'm seeing it in my mind. It's like when I think about an objective. In my mind, I see myself already with this already done, you know? It's
Mhm.
not like this will be good if I get no, no, no. In my mind, it creates the picture of okay, I achieved it already, and I start living like if I did. And when this is so clear, I do it very easily because I know that you can do it. When it's not clear, that's where things get a bit more messy, actually. And sometimes I struggle with motivation when the objective is not clear.
Mm.
Sometimes I struggle with, yeah, the motivation is the first one because sometimes you feel like, yeah, it's like I'm doing a lot of things and I don't know if those things that I'm doing are useful for the objective. I don't even know what the objective is. So that's harder to follow through when for me when the objective is not clear actually.
In a conference with students, you told them that the talent is there, and you urged them to take the first step.
Yeah.
And now I'm wondering, what do you do if you don't have that clarity on what that step is?
Yeah, actually, that's because I've had a lot of talks with a lot of students, actually. And because I'm going to talk about the industry right now, but I think that this could be applied to other industries and to personal life, actually. If you don't know where to start without knowing, but start. That's my advice. Like do something because you are going to find out what is the thing that you had to do once you actually do something and you make a mistake. Or maybe you don't make the mistake and it turns out that this is the thing that you had to do. So that's like the philosophy that I try to follow at work and in my life and I was trying to give to these students. Like if you are only thinking like I don't know where to start, I know that there are options. Like in these talks I give them, okay, look, you could start by doing this and this and this and this and this and this. I'm not going to tell you which one is the correct way because this might be the correct way for you, but this might be the correct way for another person. In my experience, this has been something that has been useful for me in this time, but in other times, this wasn't useful. It was more like more useful to do this other thing. So if we start with the basis that we don't know, that we actually don't know, well, the thing that you have to do is to do something, and then you realize, okay, look, I did this, it worked. Yes, good. Then I can continue this. Oh, I did this. It worked. No. Okay, now I know that this doesn't work. I'm going to try something else. And I think that me personally in my life, I spent a lot of time, yeah, like in this paralysis. Like I don't know what I should do with my life. I don't know if I should do this and if I should do this other thing. And then the time started passing by, and I realized, man, I've been thinking about what I should be doing for all of this time, that in this time I could have done a lot of things, even if they weren't right, but I could have done them. So I'm going to change that way of thinking. I'm going to stop thinking so much if I should do something, and I'm going to start doing it because at the end, if time is limited, is better wasted making mistakes than doing nothing, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I try to tell them in my talks. Like, you don't know what to do. Okay, do something, even if you don't know what you're doing.
Mhm. What was there any specific instance that made you realize that?
I think many actually, but I think Atabey, building Atabey was like a changing point in my life for myself. And actually, yeah, and it came from it didn't come, for example, Atabey doesn't exist because I wanted to do that and I was committed to do that and that's it. No, Atabey exists like the way Atabey Creations is now as a company because I didn't have any other option when I started building it. I had finished my master's degree here in Spain. I live in Madrid, but I'm not from Madrid, actually. I'm from Colombia. And when I finished my master's degree, I got a job, but I didn't get it because I had all of the interviews. It was in a very big video game studio, and I was very happy because I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to start my professional career in video games because I come from economics and finance. And I said like, okay, now this makes sense because I made this big change in my life and I'm going to start finally working on a big company and I'm so happy. And now everything makes sense. Well, it turns out that I couldn't work there. because my residence permit did not allow me to work there because I had a student's residency and not a work permit residency. And I talked to, I don't know how it's called, like the department here in Spain that takes care of it. And they told me like, okay, yeah, but you need this and this and this and this and this, and you don't have this now and you don't have this. So this is going to take 6 months to get it all together. And I talked to the big company that I was going to work for, and I told them like, okay, legally I have to wait 6 months. So they changed this from a student's residency to a work residency. And they told me, no, we cannot wait for you 6 months. Sorry. So we're going to offer it to someone else. And I said, okay, good. That was like a very, very big hit for me, like emotionally, and in my professional life, because this is the first time that this happened to me. Like I have all of the abilities. Everyone is saying that it's very hard to get a job here, but I got it. And
Mhm.
I used to be very proud of how, like from school and university, I was always like the intelligent guy, and the one with the best grades, and professionally, like the one who accomplishes things. So a lot of my personality was built around this. And when this moment came, it's like, okay, yeah, I think I am capable and I am very good at what I do, but I cannot do it. Literally, there is nothing I can do. Legally, I cannot work here. So I'm going to have to wait for 6 months. And then after these 6 months have passed, I'm going to try to find something else. So that was very hard for me because it's like when you have, your self-esteem built on something that can fall apart so easily, you fall with this. And now I'm trying to build it on different things
Mm.
actually. So because this happened, the people that is now my associates yeah, at Atabey, there are two other students that were with me in the masters and a professor of the university that work with us. They came to me and they told me, "Hey, this game that we made in the masters, Little Keeper, it was good. Don't you want to make another game?" And I was like, no, I don't want to make another game right now. I want to work in this company. And they said like, yeah, no, but we actually want to make it. But if you are with us and we make it, we will do it. If not, I don't see why we would. And I was like, okay, they want to do this. I don't have anything else to do. I'm feeling very bad with myself right now. And I've always had the dream of having my own video game studio. Maybe this is the way
Wow.
to do it. And I'm not seeing it because I'm so focused on the problem that I cannot work for this
Yeah.
company that I wanted to work for. So feeling very bad and thinking, yeah, I'm going to do this just until I get my permission. And in 6 months, I'm out of this project. I'm going to help them, and that's it. So I didn't think it was the correct thing to do, but because of the context that I was in at that moment, it was doing that or staying 6 months doing nothing. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it. And I was angry doing it, when I started like, I'm doing this because I cannot do anything else. This is it's terrible. This is the state of the industry and this country. Why did I move? I could have stayed there and all of that. And even thinking that it was not the right thing to do. And even thinking that I was going to do it just for a little time and then I was going to move on to something else. And even thinking that I didn't even wanted to do it for myself, but I was doing it because they wanted to do it. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it because you're asking me too much to do it. With all of that, I still did it. And now look what happened. So I think
Mm.
that was the point in my life when I realized, man, and if you do it, and that's it, and see what happens later. Just do it and see
Mm.
what comes from it. Yeah, I think that's the point, definitely. When I got this philosophy in my life.
Wow, what a story. And what a beautiful invitation to then, much earlier than probably you expected, have your own studio.
Yeah, actually, because I was thinking that this was going to be something that I would do later. I'm going to gain a lot of experience, and I'm going to do this and have a lot of money because I cannot make a studio if I don't have the money to fund it. And I didn't have any of the things that I was thinking for myself that I was going to need to fulfill this dream. And I still did it. And
Yeah.
we didn't have money. Well, now it's making money. Good. I thought I didn't have the experience. I did have the experience, just I didn't have it on development. But at the end, it wasn't so different. So I could apply this, and I didn't know that I could apply everything that I had learned on this because you don't see that, because you think, no, 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 I have to work for this company. And once I learned all of their pipelines and all of their processes and all of the things, no, a lot of opportunities started coming for us. We got with Madrid City Hall in a program with them, and they gave us all of the tutors that we needed to teach us how to do it in specifically for video games with some development pipelines. And I ended up like doing a third master's degree with them, with
Mm.
all of the things that I did with them, and it was like it all comes. And maybe I was thinking to myself, no, I cannot do it. I cannot. No,
Mm.
yeah, I could do it. I just had to go and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It makes such a big difference if one is willing to try and just see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, basically that. Yeah.
And also, I remember 10 years ago, I built a language school. I founded a language school, and I had no experience in building language schools. I had no formal education as a language teacher, nor any like business background, and it wasn't actually that difficult. Like, yes, I had to look things up, I had to figure things out, but I
Mhm.
didn't need to have a degree or somebody tell me that I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah.
I just had to believe in myself and try it.
Yeah, basically, if you start believing in yourself, I think you are going to achieve a lot of things in life. A lot. Like you cannot imagine how important that is. Like if you believe that's what I'm telling you. When I have an objective, I think of myself already with this objective done. And if you go with this mentality, and even if you don't know, you go with the mentality, hey, I can learn. I can learn in the process. Like I don't have to learn before. I can learn while I'm doing it. You can accomplish a lot of things, but a lot of things actually.
Yeah. I want to ask you something about the games. So both games are tower defense games, and
Yeah.
usually tower defense games are framed as you defend against some kind of evil. But you
Yeah.
frame it differently. You frame it as babysitting.
Yeah,
Why?
because well, this is for Iso and Yuki actually. When we were making Little Keepers in the Masters, it was a tower defense, and that was it. It was a tower defense, and also it was co-op. That was like, okay, it's a tower defense and it's co-op. That's okay. We have like a unique selling point there for the game because tower defenses usually are single player. But now you're going to be doing this with another person. So you have to coordinate and check, okay, how do you put this tower here and this defense is there and all of this. We realized when people were testing this game that actually what was so engaging about the game was not the tower defense part. Like that was an excuse. What was really engaging was the communication between the players, was
Mm.
having to coordinate to do something. And I thought it doesn't matter what they have to do. They just have to do something together to have like an objective, and this objective we have to be very careful with this because we wanted a chaotic co-op experience. Like, yeah, you can coordinate with this objective in mind and all of that, but we are going to put a bit of chaos there. So not everything goes the way you have planned it, and you can laugh about it, and you can say and blame the other player and say like, no, yeah, man, but was expecting you to do this and you didn't, and all that. And we realized that the engaging part of that game was in the relationship between the players. And because we realized that, we said, yeah, the tower defense is an excuse. We already did one, so yeah, let's make another one because we know more or less how this works. But we're going to focus on giving them something that they have to accomplish together, and it has to be chaotic because it cannot be easy, because if it's easy they're going to get bored, and if it's too complicated maybe they're not going to coordinate well. It has to be chaotic, like this part in which you think you have the control, but something happens and takes it out of your hands. And we were thinking, okay, it's like parents having a baby, and like first parents don't know what to do
Mm.
with the baby, and they are very preoccupied, and they are very like, yeah, on what, how do we take care of this? And this is a very chaotic experience. And we said, okay, if we put them to take care of a baby that is completely crazy and that is going to be doing a lot of things, and they have to be thinking about, okay, what is Yuki going to do now? Look, he's there, go get him, things like that. We said, nah, yeah, this is the point that was missing for this game. This is what we're going to add. Now we put, because we had experience with the tower defense and we like the genre and all of that, we said, okay, yeah, let's build a tower defense around it, but you have to defend this creature,
Yeah.
this baby that is completely crazy, and you have to try to coordinate as players to try to take care of this creature. And we made him adorable, of course, because it's like, no, 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 you see him and you want to take care of him, you know. And that's the experience that we were looking for and we were aiming. That's why we changed it to babysitting, actually.
Very, very interesting. So hopefully through the game you actually create better parents.
Well, it's very chaotic, the game, so maybe yes, maybe no. We actually have a bit of a joke with this. For example, we launched a Kickstarter for the project. This is another crazy story. And if you helped us in the Kickstarter to fund the game, but we weren't funding the game because this game was for free and we didn't need the money to make it happen. We were funding going to a party, we as a studio, because sometimes I don't know who makes these decisions in the company. Yeah, then I remember that I made most of this. I say, there is something wrong with me. And for example, if you helped us with that, we will give you a diploma as new parents. You know, for you and your player too. Okay, you're new parents, and you're going to take care of Yuki now, and a lot of jokes with this actually. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the crowdfunding. So you raised money to
Yeah.
reward yourself and the team by going to a party.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing else to say. Yeah, that's what we did. We haven't had that party yet. Actually, we are finishing. Like I told you, the game is not out yet, so there are some things that we are closing right now. And once everything is done, we're going to have the party with all of the team, and let's see
Great.
how it goes.
Wow. How much were you able to raise?
1,200 euros.
A
Let's
good
hope it's a
party.
good party. Yeah, let's hope it.
Great. I want to ask about something else. So a friend of you said that in your industry, you're actually more famous than you think you are. And I want to know how
I
being well
think who
known,
that friend is. Yeah.
I want to know how being well known in the industry has changed how you show up, how you behave.
I didn't know that actually. I realized that quite some weeks ago actually that this was happening, that people knew me and I didn't know that they knew me actually. More of the question is how it's going to change, like
Right.
knowing that how it's going to change. I haven't decided yet because it didn't change before because I wasn't aware of this. So I think it's not going to change.
Okay.
Honestly, if you ask me, hey, how are you going to manage this? No, nothing. I'm not going to do anything, actually. Being famous is not also like my dream or anything. I prefer to be on the shadows, and be left alone. Right now, more, even more, I like to dedicate time to myself.
Got
So
it.
if that's happening, good. Nothing's going to change.
All
Uh,
right. Yeah, sounds good. I want to ask you the closing question. What is something in which you would like the audience to close the gap?
what you said and what I've been talking about all of this time. If you have an idea, just make it happen. Between thinking and doing, there's a gap. Like we don't do it because of fears. We don't do it because we don't know if it's correct or not. We don't do it because maybe we don't know how to do it. To take all of that, put it in the trash, and just do it. That's it. Whatever way you can find to do it, just do it. And then you realize if it was right or wrong and all of that stuff. So between your mind and your actions, I think you have to close the gap. Now, I will be responsible with that. Okay. There are some people that have some ideas that I say, okay, no, you should think before doing these ideas. But if your idea is correct, it connects with you, like in your heart and what you want to do in life, your dreams, and you're not hurting anyone, yes, Just close that gap. You think about it, go and do it.
Yeah. Amazing. Let's leave it at that. Thank you so much.
And thanks to you, Jerry. It was incredible to talk to you, actually.